Welcome back. Yammin's not here.
He's literally playing Xbox right now instead. Fuck him.
He was the one who texted us to get on. And you made the reasonable guess that meant, get on Hangouts to do the podcast. But Yammin had other ideas. So if you want to give him shit, you can do that. His Twitter is at Papa Yams, 2 M's. Go bother him. Patrick, what happened to you this week?
People like him too much to do that. What happened to me this week?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Last night I went out to a couple bars and I didn't get drunk, but I drank any amount, which is enough for me to become super analytical about like movies I like.
Yeah.
And send you guys like 1,000 messages about it.
Yeah. I woke up to your question about why does Jorah Mormont have Longclaw?
No, it wasn't Jorah Mormont. It was Jeor Mormont.
Jeor,
so Lord Commander Mormont.
Yeah, him.
It didn't make any sense to me why he was allowed to bring Longclaw, but the whole idea of the taking the black is you get rid of everything you own.
Yeah, that I had never thought of for some reason. I don't know if they explain it anywhere. I think
he smuggled it in his cheeks.
Is it perhaps because he's a man of nobility, right? He didn't do anything wrong. He joined the Night's Watch out of like his own free will. And so I think because of that reason, and obviously because, in the real world, rich people can get away with a lot of stuff, that they at least let him keep his sword.
Remember how that guy stabbed him to death and then the other guy took his skull out and drank wine with it?
Yeah. Pretty gross also. Like, not sanitary at all. You would probably die of, like, dysentery if you did that.
Maybe.
Do not recommend. Also, just a whole lot of work. You know how human skulls are incredibly thick. You would have to...
Hard as concrete.
It's fucking nasty and way too much effort just to flex on a dead person and drink out of their skull.
Flex on a dead person.
Just like the president flexes on John McCain and like talks shit about him all the time, even though he's dead.
Oh, yeah.
That whole thing is so fucking stupid and petty. He literally said, I put together this whole funeral for him and I didn't even get a thank you. And
I didn't even like him that much.
And
he was such a fucking idiot.
Someone replied to that saying like he was dead. How was he supposed to thank you?
I think maybe he was referring to his household or like his kids or something.
I'm sure, but like in the context of it or whatever, it sounded like he was talking about John McCain himself.
Is the guy who he said, I prefer guys who weren't captured, right?
Yep, that's him.
Man, what a fucking idiot.
It's like the level of obsession he has with him for some reason is very bizarre. And he was saying this to a group of other people in the military and other veterans at like one of his like weird rallies that he has all the time because he never stops throwing parties for himself. And the crowd was just like dead silent because everyone there obviously respects a military person like John McCain. And it was just like super awkward. But Trump is completely unaware of the room and the situation and just keeps thinking he's the hottest shit in the room and just keeps going. So that was fun to watch over the last week.
That's a word for it. Yeah, it was fun.
It's the constant train wreck that is going on is always something to...
Then there was the Robert Mueller thing, which is, I think, the most boring thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. I hope it does something, but I have zero idea what it's about, and this is not a prompt for you to explain. I don't care about it. I just want it to do something important. That's how uninformed and stupid I am.
That's fine. It is... Yeah, it can get pretty intricate if you want. But basically, and I'm not explaining this to you, I wouldn't expect anything out of it because I think a lot of people are just hyped it up and got their hopes up way too much. And I think by this point, like most people with any sense in their brain have moved on to more legit, like
literally anything else.
Like, oh, there's like an election happening next year. Maybe we should focus our energy on that instead of like putting all of our bets on this one off chance that maybe the president gets in trouble, legally speaking. So yeah,
I keep forgetting how weird Joe Biden is. And how there's like a compilation of him being a really weird dude.
yeah. Which I'm surprised it has not come out already.
It's going to. When he runs for president, it's going to.
Like, I wonder, because this stuff is floated around. Honestly, I want to look at it again because
people use it a lot on the right to hurt the image of Obama.
Yeah,
the Obama presidency.
I want to look at it again just because I'm not sure if
I literally looked at it yesterday.
Yeah,
if you're a normal human being, you'll find it weird.
There was a really funny compilation of bits from The Office that I sent you guys. I'm not sure if you watched it because you hate The Office. But the Joe Biden one was literally just Michael Scott, like, sexually harassing Phyllis. And I was like, you're right about that. You might be right about that. Which is
weird.
Unfortunate. Because he is seen as, like, the top dog right now. He's seen as, like, the number one choice. But...
oh, God. People who, like, go on Biden bro or whatever. It's just like...
Biden bros.
It's so stupid.
I think it's just because people want to go back to like the Obama years, and that's like the closest thing they can have to it. And also Joe Biden's he's like an old kind of Clint Eastwood type of guy who doesn't like take shit.
He would love you to believe that of him, yeah.
No, I've like seen him like he can go toe to toe with Trump, which is what I think most people want.
By saying I'm gonna take him behind the gym. Wow, that was so badass. Nobody gives a shit about that. Act like a normal adult, you fucking idiot.
See, that's what I would normally agree with, but people have really shallow reasoning.
What?
Yeah, dude. Like, the only thing people care about, for the most part, if you're talking about, one-on-one with Donald Trump, is who is the more electable candidate. Like, who's more charismatic, who is kind of like the dominant personality. It's basically what it comes down to and has come down to in so many elections in the past. Like John F. Kennedy against Nixon. Nixon was an ugly, sweaty dude, and John F. Kennedy was like this young, like...
suave, young, charming guy.
Exactly. And he won in a landslide. Ronald Reagan, he was another, like, super charismatic person. Even, like, George Bush against, like, Al Gore. Al Gore is, like, as boring as a peg.
Big old nerd.
Yeah. George Bush... as like weird and like whatever you want to say about him.
Florida happened though, so was it all
I mean,
cut above what's it called?
Above board.
Dry? There you go.
Yeah, like yeah, that's a point, but also he won again in 2004 against John Kerry, who was not that charismatic. But he was more charismatic.
You know who that is. That's how little I know about him.
Exactly. Like, if you don't even know, like, there are candidates in history that, like, you hear their names and you're like, who?
The first time I heard about Al Gore, I assume I heard the name when I was very young and the election was going on. But I remember seeing on South Park him chasing around Man Bear Pig. That was really funny.
That whole thing is like so dated now and also I feel bad about that because the reason they made fun of Al Gore was because he was promoting action for climate change and no one really took him seriously at the time, and now we have this like meme about him that's just making fun of him for caring about something that's actually important, which feels like a weird, like, cynical, douchey behavior, I'm not like a huge fan of it, but like people in high school, middle school were always like, oh, Man Bear Pig.
They were? I've never fucking heard that before.
Yeah, dude. Man Bear Pig, Tree Fitty, all those like South Park
heard
jokes.
that.
Yeah.
I don't think the leading joke in South Park that really touched the hearts of millions of kids was about Al Gore.
It definitely came up in history class, at least history and government. That I know for sure.
Maybe, I don't know. Whatever. I really didn't pay attention to those classes.
How do you feel about the Google console? That was just not even a console. The Netflix streaming games thing.
Can you sum it up in like a sentence?
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Google is making a new service called Stadia that is basically just Netflix for games. So you download an app, whatever on any device, phone, laptop, tablet, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how powerful it is. You can stream a game from Google, and you can just play it. It's as simple as that.
It looks awesome, and they showed a run through of like the different devices you can use, and they got to a remote controller that looks like an Xbox controller that's just got a phone mounted on the top of it, and it looks awesome.
It looked really cool in the demo, and I want this to work. Like I actually do want this to work.
2 people pledging to them though, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and what else?
Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're gonna have plenty of more games because, third-party developers that, don't make exclusives will, I'm sure, happily make it to their platform just because, why not? And it's Google.
Yeah, because those are always console sellers.
I mean, shit like Red Dead 2, Skyrim. Well,
that's not a third-party developer.
Yeah, it is. What are you talking about?
Red Dead?
Yeah, Rockstar makes Red Dead as a third-party developer.
What does that mean?
It means that they aren't owned by Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo. So if the game is not exclusive, it is third-party, basically.
That's not what I think of. Okay.
What's your interpretation?
When you say third-party, I think of a third-party candidate, which is like some small dude.
Oh, what? No. Not in this context. Yeah, anyone like EA, Activision, whatever. If it's on both Xbox and PlayStation, that's third party. So any game like that, I think can be on Google Stadia just fine without issue.
Maybe, yeah.
They were showing beforehand, this wasn't during the press conference, but like they had little teaser images before of like little random icons that had different like drawings and illustrations of elements from games. So like one of them was like an arrow through the knee, another one was like a cowboy hat. So people were thinking like, oh, like maybe like Skyrim and Red Dead Redemption are coming to Google Stadia. Well, they didn't say anything about that, so who really knows what's going on?
If they had any other games to show, they would have showed it. I think that was the idea.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But again, I don't think like the catalog of games is
Gameville.
not Gameville.
Welcome to Gameville. Population 4.
That would have been a much better name than Stadia, which sounds like a disease.
Well, I mean, it's a vehicle to play games, so that there's like some obvious answers to like what is going to come to the console. So Fortnite, Minecraft, like these like regulars. I mean, is Minecraft a fucking exclusive with Xbox? I think Microsoft owns it now.
They do, but Microsoft
licenses it, right?
Yeah, they're pretty chill about it because Minecraft has been on everything for so long before they bought it. They're not just gonna yank it, even though they could. But
is this the way that you want games to go to a streaming service?
I would be okay with both this and regular games existing because I can definitely see myself in a situation where I don't have access to like a big bulky like Xbox or like expensive machine that can like run a game right. And I would absolutely love to just like play like a mission of something on the train to work on my phone, right? Like imagine just doing a quick like Assassin's Creed hideout on your phone.
You have the Legend of Zelda on your Switch, and that's what you talked about when you travel. You just like crank out a Zelda dungeon. And
that's a good example actually. The Nintendo Switch is probably like the closest, convenience factor thing that this thing wants to offer. And whenever I would like go do laundry or go to like the airport or whatever, I would just take my Switch with me, pop it out, wait for my laundry to get done, wait for my plane to get where it needs to go. And it's awesome. Like playing Mario, Smash, Zelda, whatever. I think the Switch is great for stuff like that. But the advantage the Switch has that Stadia would not be able to compete with is that the Switch does all of that locally, right? Like it's a regular game system.
Yeah, these little cartridges.
Yeah. I could not play a Stadia game on an airplane because there's no Wi-Fi. And there is sometimes, but like it's very, very bad Wi-Fi. So I would not count on it.
We'll just become a first-class passenger.
Exactly. But even like using airplane Wi-Fi for Twitter takes. I literally have to wait a minute for my Twitter feed to refresh. So I don't even think twice about trying to stream video, much less a game. So that use case scenario of always having to be online is going to kind of limit, how effective that's going to be.
I mean, most consoles now are always online.
For sure. But if I'm in a place where my internet connection is really solid, I also tend to have a device already dedicated to gaming in that place, for example.
But I didn't look at this and think this is definitely something I would use solely for mobile games. It would be, mobile games in the way that like playing video games mobily, not fucking Clash of Clans. But the thing that appealed to me the most would be being able to play Assassin's Creed Origins in my bed with a remote control, and I'm using my phone. It's just like, I love that, the idea of that so much. And I no one, if you had said that to me before, I would have said that's stupid and that looks stupid. But I saw it and it works, and now I want it so bad.
I like where you're coming from with that. Because that's what I like about the Switch. No, that's what I like about the Switch too, is that I can literally just be in bed and play any game I want. But there are other streaming things that stream locally. And what I mean by that is you don't need to connect to like a server somewhere else. What it does is, and I know PlayStation has this feature, and I think Xbox might, I'm not 100% sure. But basically, like, you literally download the app on your phone, right? The PlayStation or the Xbox app. And it turns on the PlayStation in your house, for in this case. And then that screen, it pops up on your phone because both your phone and your PlayStation are connected to the same Wi-Fi. And then you can just scroll over, start playing some Spider-Man all on your iPhone. And it's streaming right from your PlayStation through your home Wi-Fi to your phone. And it works a lot better than, some of the other game streaming services that exist now. So I've seen people have a lot of success with that. So that's one way you could play Assassin's Creed Origins in bed already. That's free, and that maybe even works better than the Stadia thing. So
maybe.
Yeah, but it's also not a thing a lot of people know about. Strangely enough, because I think it's a relatively new feature. I haven't tried it yet myself, but it just raises even more questions. Like, the big thing for me, I think...
You know what I just thought about?
What?
I'm completely interrupting you. But we'll record this, and Yammin will have ignored us because he's on Xbox, and then we'll all get on Xbox and play together.
Yeah. Actually, I'm sure Yammin actually has a lot to say about this, and he is totally missing
I know.
out.
He chose the one time where he would have plenty to talk
His
about.
expertise. Yeah. I don't even know what they're going to... Like, how is buying a game going to work on this thing? Am I going to pay $60 like I do normally?
I don't have any idea. I assume it's like they said, they talked about Netflix a lot and streaming service a lot. So maybe it would be like $15 a month, and every month a new game is added, just like Netflix.
Yeah. Like, because I think it has to be the subscription model, right? Or maybe it can be like a combination, actually. Like, you pay for a subscription, kind of like Game Pass, right? You get a pool of games you can access whenever you want for free. And then if for some reason there's a game that's not on the service, you can buy it, independently and also play it that way. But I think that the one feature they showed off that I thought was really cool was when then they were showing the YouTube video of that Assassin's Creed playthrough, and then he literally just pressed a button, and then jumped right into that moment in the game. Like, I think that's incredible, right? But what if you're doing that and you don't own the game? Like, how does that work? Am I going to have to, like, wait, put in my credit card information, pay the $60 to, like, just jump right into that moment of the game? Because that seems like, kind of breaks the illusion, right? So if we have a subscription service, I have immediate access to that game, and it's not a problem. So that's why I think it would have to work that way.
I don't care at all. And the thing, how my brain works with shit like this is I don't do the thing that you do where I like analyze everything. I think, that's cool. I hope it doesn't suck. And then I don't think about it at all. And this right here, when we're talking about it, if we don't talk about it on Xbox, this will be the most I think about it until it's released.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Last point I want to bring up about this, and probably the biggest point that I think most people are concerned about is like input lag. So I'm not sure if we mentioned this when we were talking about you buying a new TV, and we were like, make sure it doesn't have high input lag or whatever, because that's an issue on some cheaper TVs. But the issue when you're streaming a game versus playing it locally is that you have to send your button press, right? You have to send it to a server, wait for that to respond, and then send it back to you, and then for that to appear on your TV. Versus, you have your Xbox, I press a button, happens immediately because it's right in front of me. It's not like 100 miles away in like the middle of some warehouse. And so like those extra milliseconds, even though they are like small, it's noticeable when you're playing a game, especially a fast game, that demands some level of like
reflexes.
Timing.
Yeah,
exactly. Like I can't imagine parrying in Assassin's Creed if there's like a noticeable delay between when I press the button to parry a dude and then I just get fucked up instead. Like that would be super frustrating.
Yeah. When I was in the checkout line, I was like literally looking at a review to make sure that the TV wasn't like that, and Yammin typed out the entire thing literally while I was reading it on the website.
Yeah. But I'm glad your TV worked out for you.
Thanks.
Hopefully Stadia works out too. I know a lot of people, like the Funhouse guys, were shitting all over it.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, I was like seeing what like Lawrence and stuff was tweeting. And
I don't know about tweeting, but if you're watching Inside Gaming, they seem pretty hopeful about it. That's where they wanted games to go.
Okay. I mean, I think that this could be cool, and I want it to be cool. It's better for things to work than to suck, but I think it's...
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not. I think it's, people have a reason to be skeptical. Yeah, because shit like this hasn't really worked in the past. So
especially because it's Google, and Google's like the big brother shadowy organization.
Oh, they will be collecting all of your data on everything you play. And
they'll learn exactly which analog stick you prefer overall.
Exactly. Which, like, I don't think I care. Like, I know people make a big fuss about, like, Google collecting all your data and, like, privacy concerns and stuff, but I don't know if I care about that. Like, what are they going to learn about me from, like, my game habits? Like,
see, but you would care if they were more menacing about it. Remember when I sent that screenshot that I have of Twitter, when I opened Twitter one night, it gave me a little pop-up that said, do you want us to track your precise location? And this will, like, give us... It literally said... Like, not verbatim, but, like, in a very menacing way, like, this will give us more data about you, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I remember thinking, seeing a corporation just do that. Because if they had just said, Twitter needs an update, and then shown me a wall of text that's terms of service, I would have just agreed.
Yeah.
They didn't have to tell me that. But it was a weird moment of, like, clarity. Yeah. And it was, what? It was like a sort of like a Black Mirror thing.
Yeah.
Of like, this is what I'm agreeing to normally, but now I finally know exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm. That's location is the one thing I'm always really hesitant about sharing. I always have it turned off on my apps because, worst case scenario, that like gets leaked or somehow someone has access to that and can like find me. That's like the one thing that I'm not a huge fan of. But like if you know that, I prefer like shooters and like RPGs is like my favorite games, and that like I play during maybe these certain times, I play on these certain devices, and like my age and like gender or whatever, like that's fine. Like I don't really care too much. That's not going to affect me in any way. You know what I mean? And even you said they don't use it menacingly, but I don't even know how you could use that menacingly. Like
your exact location?
Besides that, no. Location data I don't like, but everything else, like what I prefer to play, when I play, what I play on, stuff like that.
But it's what you're saying is like would sound so ludicrous to someone 10 years ago that your personal information is being collected, but we're so used to it now that it's just like what could go wrong really? It's just like anything could. They're doing it doesn't matter what Google is doing with this information, even though that's terrifying. It's what happens when they mismanage it and it leaks to 1,000 other people. Or 1 billion other people. It's just like, this is you on a plate.
See, there's some information I would have a problem with getting out and some I wouldn't. So if anything like location, financial stuff, or maybe like personal stuff like Social Security, like that's all bad, obviously. And that stuff I like take extra care not to put into things I don't trust. But, you know, like market research stuff on like my like consumer habits or whatnot, like that I'm more okay with. But often I know that sometimes you can't choose what you are and aren't sharing, which I think is the crux of the issue. And so that's what I think Stadia will kind of encroach upon. I think it'll start off, you know, innocent enough, right, just to get people on board, and then eventually, I'm sure years on, you know, it'll come out that like, yeah, Stadia knows everything and anything about you, and in fact, they've made an artificial intelligence that behaves exactly like you do to eventually like replace you in real life or something fucking insane like that.
That is like every company has their own. You ever see all the time how a car company will send out some press packet of like, this is the car of the future, and it's not a real car that they built. It's just a 3D modeled like the car from iRobot, basically.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
super futuristic and like almost like 90% glass and like chrome, and it's just like, this is what the Mitsubishi something or other will look like in the 2039. It's like, no, it won't. Exactly. What are you talking about? And then like a Google or a tech company will put out how they're working on Samantha, the AI robot who talks to you, but it's mostly just like a skin covered like desk monitor that sometimes is capable of having a broken conversation. It's just like, are they building an AI or are they building another Samantha?
Exactly.
Can I completely cut this subject off with something else?
Go for it.
After I just talked a bunch. Fuck you. I recently watched a video that's super entertaining. You know those the videos we love of experts review movie whatever?
Yeah, love it.
Like an expert on guitars will watch movie clips of people handling guitars and go like, actually, that's not how we do this and this and this, or
sucks.
This is actually a Gibson 1027 or whatever. It's just interesting stuff. And I watched one where it was a fighting expert reviewing movie fights. Yeah. And this was like, he's an MMA fighter or like a mixed martial artist at least, which is exactly what I just said, except non-acronym.
Just not acronym. Yeah.
He's like, he knows like jiu-jitsu and stuff, and he's a boxer, and he's watching these clips from like Deadpool and shit, and he's like really quiet, and he's like, okay, so he's using an axe. I don't know. I never really fight with an axe, so I'm not really sure. And then, like, one character or like throw a haymaker. He's like, "That's a haymaker." What he just did was a haymaker. Like looking for literally any opportunity to use his expertise, like at all. And then like Thor will throw his hammer, and it's just like, so he has lightning powers. It looks like. That was a Superman punch. I saw it. It's so fucking funny. He has like literally nothing to say because 95% of the clips are from like Iron Man and shit. Yeah.
See, I love that shit. The awkward.
I feel like it was a prank that the fucking people pulled on him.
Yeah, like they just feel, because these people aren't like celebrities or like content or entertainment people. They're just regular people who excel at other shit that's way cooler, and so they have that normal person inclination to like fill the silence with anything, like even their like awkward mumbling of just like, yeah, this is, I don't use a Iron Man suit, obviously. It's like, oh yeah, that's a roundhouse kick right there. Very technically difficult to pull off.
Obviously, he's using energy blasts, which is Not something I'm familiar with, but and it feels under edited. Like there's so much like white noise. It's just like cut some of this shit. He doesn't have anything to say about fucking Captain Marvel. What are you doing?
That's why I love the Alex Honnold one so much. Is that even when any like major climbing stuff was going on, he was just like so into it and like so entertained. He was like, "Oh, this part coming up here is like really sick, actually."
Alex Honnold has the benefit of also being a tremendously charming person, but this dude he's not awkward, but he's not ready for this. Yeah. It'll like cut to John Wick, and he'll be like, "Yeah, so what he just did there was he shot a guy, and if you ever recorded, you should probably do that as well." It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who are the people doing this to this man?
Do you see the Respawn one where they talked about all the Apex Legends characters?
I literally said that to you. I fucking said it.
I know.
Idiot.
Bitch, I'm giving you credit right now.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really fun.
It was really cool.
I like the one about Octane. How he's like a
he's an adrenaline
Red
junkie.
Bull like skydiver. Like
yeah.
He lost his legs because he was trying to do a grenade jump, and then he got robo legs. Now he's super fast.
Yeah, like I didn't think the thought process on all these characters was so deep, but I really liked it, and just like listening to all the backstory and stuff they had in mind for these characters, because Apex being like a multiplayer game, you don't really get that a lot unless you look for it. So just like getting the background on everyone was like really cool and like really interesting. I also like you could tell these guys were, and this is something I was actually surprised by, for like two like white dude like game developers.
They were not both white, but okay.
The two guys in the video were talking. Yeah, they were both white.
No, they weren't.
Who? What are you talking about? They absolutely.
Who are you talking about?
The Wired.
The video I watched was one brown guy, one white guy.
No, no, I'm talking about the Wired. Every Legend in Apex Legends Explained. It's like a half-hour video.
Yep.
There's not a brown guy.
Yes, there is, Pena.
Dude, I will fucking pull up the video
Let's
right now.
see.
You are 100% wrong on this. It's the dude.
Okay, you know I sent this to you, right?
Yes.
It is a brown guy and a white guy.
It literally is not. It's the dude with long black hair who looks like he could be in a pop punk band, and then a regular schlubby looking computer science guy. I promise you this. Hang on. I like how we have to stop everything to like prove which one of us is right.
Stupid. Hey. I remember he was like a paler brown dude and then a white guy.
Bitch, literally no. I'm looking at the thumbnail right now. Okay, here we go.
He's what, Pena?
He's white.
What's his name?
Hang on.
I am the narrative lead on Apex Legends.
Back it up. He said it at the beginning.
Hi, I'm Mohammed. I am the.
He's Mohammed.
Apex Legends.
Dude, he's
asshole.
White. What are you talking about?
This is so stupid.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? I'm gonna send you a screenshot of these guys because apparently you don't believe me.
Pena, I'm not saying he's brown as in like the literal like factual color brown. I'm talking about his ethnicity.
So he's like white Middle Eastern then, if you like want to like go there.
He's pale. It doesn't matter. This is such a stupid conversation.
I still think I'm right.
You're not right.
You explicitly said brown, and that like does not relate at all.
People say that in reference to an entire ethnicity all the time.
I think that just makes you racist, honestly.
Sure, okay, fine, whatever. This is the dumbest fucking argument I've ever had.
Anyways, I really appreciated all the shit they had to say and like how much they cared about like including diversity in their games and stuff.
I like how they mentioned just completely offhandedly Gibraltar's boyfriend. It was just like, it's a matter of fact, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, moving on. It's like, that was so cool.
Yeah. I like totally didn't, like, that's something I didn't know. Like, not mentioned in the game at all. They were just like, yeah, so Gibraltar, you know, on this rescue mission, you know, his husband was there and he had to save him and then all this stuff. And I was like, wait, his husband? What's going on? So that was cool. Bangalore. I like Bangalore's backstory a lot because she had this, like, they played her up as this military family person, but she's part of the military that's like the bad guys in Titanfall.
IMC.
Like the Titanfall universe. Yeah, the IMC. So like that's something I hadn't thought of. Like she doesn't think of herself as the bad guy. She thinks she's doing like her like duty basically from her perspective.
She's a career military person. It was just interesting because she was like, imagine having someone tell you that your entire career is evil.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, what are you talking about? No,
Exactly.
I served and I I was respected and I did good work. It's like, that sounds sad.
You could say that about a lot of like U.S. military efforts. So like I think it's not too far off the mark. I'm trying to think what other characters were notably interesting. The Pathfinder stuff was cute because I didn't know
Marvin.
I didn't know he was in Titanfall 2 in any way. So they were like, "Oh, we got to put this robot in now because everyone loves this robot." And I was like, "Oh, that's nice." So yeah, I love shit like that. That's the kind of content I like to consume.
I didn't break my mic by screaming about who was brown and who was not.
No, you're good. Did you see? I know you did see because I already asked you. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer.
I did.
How do you feel?
I never thought I'd see the day someone who is pretending to be Bruce Lee fought Brad Pitt, but
That Bruce Lee.
Brad Pitt's looking older now.
He is old now, but
It's like in the last year he's become finally like mortal.
yeah, dude. But that Bruce Lee actor they got to like impersonate him or whatever is spot on.
That was a pretty great impression. Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, it was also. I don't know. I thought that bit was pretty funny where he was like, being kind of a jackass and being like, "My hands are registered weapons. If I kill you in a fight, I could go to jail." And Brad Pitt's like, "Yeah, if you fucking kill anyone in a fight, you're obviously gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?"
If you accidentally kill anybody in a fight, you go to jail.
So I think it'll be good. I thought The Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino's last movie, was boring
Dude, I
as
love
fuck.
all those movies. I know everybody had so much shit to I don't want to walk all over what you're saying, but I feel like you're going to be like, The Hateful Eight was boring in some way. It was like not as good as the other films, which is, I guess, yeah, true. I love all of them, though. They're so good.
They're okay. What is boring and like bad for Tarantino is like greater than most
a great way
every
to put
other
it.
movie.
That's a great way to put it,
yeah. The Hateful Eight was obviously like crafted very well. I can see the quality in it, but I just personally was not super interested in that movie. My favorite is still Inglourious Bastards, just because it kind of hits that perfect niche appeal of World War II history and Tarantino like humor and like
it was
hyper
so
violence
fucking
and
funny,
stuff.
and the acting could go from like bone-chillingly serious to the funniest thing you've ever heard, and you're crying laughing in the next scene. It's just like, what the fuck? Who made
Exactly.
this? And then you see Tarantino in an interview, and he's so fucking weird,
Such
and you're
a
like,
creep.
why am I don't want to like you.
Yeah, he's a fucking bizarre guy, and like it makes me hesitant to enjoy his movies, but I really do. They're all just so like his filmmaking style and like writing. It's also like easy to like and like charismatic. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like so appealing. I don't know. Like even Django Unchained, which is like the last of his movies that I really enjoyed, has that same thing. Even if the racial stuff was weird and bungled, and he has this like obsession with the N-word for some reason that's very bizarre.
Yeah, you really have to make a lot of stipulations before you say,
Yeah.
hey, this movie is awesome when you're talking about a
Give me a
Tarantino movie.
second.
But, I mean, I'm just going to... Django is one of the greatest Westerns ever made, to me, at least. It's literally nonstop. I'm completely glued to the screen. I've watched that drunk so many fucking times. I mean, not that many times because I've only recently turned 21. Saved it.
It's a good it pairs well with some nice beans. Pairs even
We don't need to
better
do
with
that
good
shit
beer.
anymore. I'm a man.
But I don't understand how you can get drunk and like watch a movie because my attention span
It's not so
is
much drunk, but I am drunk and then I decide to watch movies.
See, I can't like pay attention to something like that for so long if I'm drunk. Like I can do like a TV episode, but I mostly like to do like YouTube stuff.
Yeah, I do a lot of that as well. I look up a lot of Funhouse drunk gameplays so I don't feel alone.
Just like God. Just like I love the short bursts of content that YouTube gives, like 10 minutes or less. Or sometimes if there's like an actually like really good video that's like long, I can like choose to like stop whenever I want to, and like I don't feel like I'm losing out on much. Like the Fallout lore stuff that you sent me that we talked about before, where it's just like 2 hours of this guy working through every possible option in like Megaton and Fallout 3. And I was
I'll
like,
plug that guy all day.
I love him. Like
Oxhorn. His name is Oxhorn.
Oxhorn.
Oxhorn. If you like anything about the Fallout series and you enjoy the lore at all, please check that guy out. He's so fucking awesome. I love him.
It's fucking hilarious. I remember I was last time I was like tipsy or whatever. I was watching that Megaton one, and I just like for some reason just like kept dying laughing of him like trying to take the mayor's hat. Like those are the dialogue options. And the mayor's like, "Hey, what can I, how can I help you?" And he's like, "Give me your hat."
It's that every like he'll have a video titled the Mojave abandoned shack, and it'll be all about the abandoned shack, one of the abandoned shacks in the Mojave desert in New Vegas. And if there's a person there, he'll explore every avenue of dialogue with them. And that includes some of the fucking weirder ones. So it's like, "Give me your shoes."
I love that guy.
And then he'll do the voice acting for it. It's so funny.
See, that's what I like. I like that he like
"Give me your shoes."
He puts on like a different voice. Like that's like the extra mile that I like need to kind of like immerse myself and stuff. Because a good example of this actually is when I was trying to listen to the Game of Thrones audiobooks as I was reading them, because those books are
He's an old man. Talks about sex.
Yeah, but the problem is that it's the same voice for all the characters, and it's not like that. Like really takes me out of it. Like I don't like hearing like an old dude read Arya's lines. Like that like takes me right out of it. But apparently in like the Norwegian version of the Game of Thrones audiobooks, they have all the same like Norwegian dub actors and actresses read the lines for the audiobook as well. Like that's amazing. Like I wish they could do that so bad for the books. That would be incredible. But I know it's like more expensive and like logistically challenging. But still, if you really wanted to make a cool audiobook, that's the way to do it.
I don't even need to read the book with those lore videos. It's like I'm completely satisfied with it. It's like I don't know what's in the book, but it's definitely not as good as an entire video dedicated to Arthur Dane, the Sword of the Morning and Dawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Sword made from meteorite that now rests in Starfall for the next worthy Dane to claim it. It's like, what the fuck am I watching? Why do I love this so much? None of this is real.
Did you restart watching the show like from the beginning?
No, I just started watching clips on YouTube, and the idea of having to subscribe to HBO and or find some thing on Putlocker or something just sounds really daunting. So
that's fair.
I just watched those clips and then fell asleep.
Yeah. Then you also sent me the picture of the guy from Umbrella Academy. Was it Game of Thrones or something?
He's Dickon. The guy who gets roasted alive by the dragon with his dad.
Oh
Randall
yeah.
Tarley's other, cool brother. I mean, son.
Oh wow. Yeah, that guy. I didn't know he was in anything else before Umbrella Academy, but good for him, I guess. Yeah.
Indeed. Everybody fucking hates number 1 from Umbrella Academy.
I do too. We've talked about this stuff. He's such an idiot.
He's an idiot, but
He's
also
an arrogant
people hate
idiot.
him. People hate him for they say that, and I don't know anything about this because I guess I need to rewatch it to pay attention more. But that he invalidates other people's trauma by when they complain about something that happened to them as a kid. He's like, well, I was on the moon for 4 years. And they say, they make jokes about how he says it all the time.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you that he said it more than 4 times, which is a lot, but it's also, he was on the fucking moon for 4 years.
He didn't.
People are probably going to write in about this.
He definitely didn't say that in response every single time someone was complaining about something. But in general, anytime someone had issue with their childhood, he would counter back with saying, well, it wasn't so bad, blah, 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 some other, bullshit like that. Wasn't necessarily always the moon thing, but he was, still super fucking annoying about invalidating people's, the other characters' trauma and issues and stuff like that. So that was another annoying aspect.
When he got super drunk, this is spoilers for Umbrella Academy, when he got super drunk, he was talking to Klaus, and then he told Klaus, he's like, I want to switch with you. I won't have you be me and me be you because your life seems so fun and easy. And it's he's so completely oblivious to the psychotic brain that Klaus has developed from having to listen to literal dead people his entire life. And Klaus is like, you do not want to be me.
Yeah.
And he's so childish. I mean, he's obviously drunk, but like,
Yeah.
I think what he meant was, I want someone else to have to be number one. I don't want these expectations for me. But it was never really that anybody had expectations other than his dad.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wanted him to be the best, like Captain America dude ever. It was mostly just he was supposed to be because he was chosen for it.
Yeah. I also think Luther is definitely like stunted development wise, like
Totally.
at least definitely emotionally, because I mean, like his relationship, it doesn't seem like he had relationships with anyone outside of his like immediate family, and then also being stranded on the moon for 4 years and not talking to anyone. So he's definitely, I can't blame him entirely for the way he is, because obviously he's also a victim of Hargraves or whatever being like a shitty father, but that doesn't make him not an asshole compared to like everyone else. Everyone in the show is kind of an asshole in their own way, but Luther is like especially a huge asshole. Like Five is like like
Five
a
is so
sassy
annoying.
asshole, but I really enjoy him because he's like funny and it's like coming from like this kid.
I don't think I'm better than you, I know.
Diego is also definitely like an aggressive asshole,
Diego's great, shut
but
up.
I love him. Diego's my favorite character. But most of the time he was like right about things, like especially compared to like Luther. And like his heart was in the like good place, like I really liked his relationship with the detective lady, and that showed you that he cared about other things.
Somebody, yeah.
Yeah, he had somebody.
Did I tell you about his powers in the comics?
Are they different from the knife throwing thing?
He can hold his breath indefinitely, and he is skilled with weapons. That's it. And his codename was the Kraken, because he can hold his breath.
I mean, the breath thing and the weapon thing kind of like are random things, but I can see how that can go well together if you want to like hide in like water. Like that's cool. Like
I guess.
Good for you.
He's got a harpoon gun. Watch out.
Is he good with like regular guns too?
He's good with everything. He's just well trained.
Okay. Because in the show, it's pretty obvious he can like only do knives for some reason. Like even regular stuff, he can't do it like he can do a knife.
It doesn't make sense to me how someone could receive a superpower and the genetic code would develop in a way that like you can only throw knives really well. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Exactly. Like he should basically have Bullseye's powers.
Yeah.
Like he should just have immaculate aim with pretty much everything.
But it's it's more like he can do the wanted shit of like bending the bullet.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's so cool. Like he enters like a first person view like on the knife, and it just like he steers it like a car.
Yeah. I really liked Wanted. That was a good movie. Actually, I'm sure if I watched it now, it'd probably be worse. But I remember
back
thinking
when
it was
Chris
the
Pratt
coolest
was not Chris Cool.
Yeah, he was like the douchey coworker of James McAvoy, who before he was Professor X, and he just gets smacked in the face with like a keyboard or something.
Remember when James McAvoy and him were going to like Rite Aid, and then McAvoy was going to check out, and then he like Chris Pratt like puts a bunch of condoms like on the counter, and he's like, "You got this, right, buddy?" And it was just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, what a like a shitty thing to do.
That's not douchey weird. Like that's like the douchiest, shittiest thing you could possibly do. Make someone else pay for your condoms.
Like it's not douchey. I think it's so douchey and shitty that I don't think that's very realistic at all. Like at least like if that did happen, like I would just be like, no. Like I think anyone with any semblance of self-respect would just be like, no, like I'm not paying for your condoms, fuck off. Or put up any resistance whatsoever. Like that's just fucking stupid.
It's like it's so weird backwards to me how he's the biggest idiot and such a douchebag, but also he's interested in protecting himself.
Exactly. All right. Unless you want to bring anything else up, I want to get into questions.
I'd like to bring up my morale.
How's your morale doing?
The facial people fucking hate my facial hair on Instagram. They hate it. I don't know what I did to them. They hate my hat. They hate my hair. They hate my facial hair. They hate me.
You're starting to look like Mac DeMarco a little bit.
Who?
He's like a kind of a trashy like indie songwriter
did that guy
dude.
Die?
No, it's Mac Miller.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. You got the what I call like the sad boy look, where you're wearing kind of just like a beat up hat and you have like facial hair that's not fully developed and your hair is like unkempt. It's like hard to describe, but I know exactly like what it is because there's a whole neighborhood of them right next to me. So the only thing missing for you is that like you should be in a band and you chain smoke cigarettes. That's like the only two things missing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can understand why people aren't a fan of it. At least that's what I think they're projecting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's like,
But if you like it, who cares about what we think?
I know it's like the angle of like some people who only can grow a little bit of facial hair, they're gross because it looks gross. But also I have this like creaking feeling that's like people like the idea that I don't age or like that I'm going to stay young, and that provides some level of innocence.
Yeah.
And seeing that I have the capability to grow facial hair is just like, oh, he's an adult. That's weird. I don't like that. The dream is dying.
Huh. Okay.
Just like everybody every day.
So you think they're pedophiles is what you're saying?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. I bet there's a non-zero number of people that think that way.
That's a weird way to say that.
Is at least one.
At least one pedophile out there.
At least one.
There's a thing that happens on Tinder a lot where Tinder, it's like you can connect your Instagram, but they can't like tap on your name while in the Tinder app and like go to your Instagram. It just shows like this is his Instagram and here's some recent pictures he took. And people will look at my Tinder and then go to my Instagram and message me, and then I won't respond because it goes into requests, and then they'll assume that I'm a catfish because they just texted like some famous person and this is a catfish on Tinder, and the famous person hasn't responded, so it's obviously not the same person on both apps.
Yeah.
It's just like brilliant deduction there, champ.
Ooh. You should make a second Instagram that has no followers and just post normal
Prude
photos.
dudes. Ha!
Exactly. All right. Fuck you. This first email is from Ty. Hey dudes, my name is Tyler. If you're wondering how to pronounce my email, it is Ty Le Aloha. Oh, that's their last name. Sorry, Le Aloha. Okay, that's cool. Tyler's also a girl, so that's cool. Just want to let you know I appreciate y'all a lot. You guys are absolutely hilarious. Always make me laugh with your stupid jokes and pointless conversations. I'm wondering whether or not you guys believe in astrology and why or why not. And also, apparently, her friend said that we would never read this and we would never pay attention to her. So if we could just say "fuck off, Emily," that'd be great.
Anyway,
Emily,
next team.
fuck off.
I like how her name is Ty because I thought of Ty Lee from Avatar.
Ooh, good pickup there.
That was one of my first wiener wiggles.
Yeah.
I
we already talked about this.
Astrology at all.
Yeah, I don't believe in astrology at all. It's bullshit.
I think it's really stupid and dumb.
It's very dumb.
People fucking say like, "Oh, well, that's exactly what an Aquarius would say." I want to fucking snap your neck and down your throat. I hate you so much. You're so stupid. Anyway,
I feel the same way. If you like it, that's fine. But some people take it way too seriously, and I think that's very annoying.
I literally. My favorite shit, and it's not my favorite shit. I have a lot of things that I call like
my
the
favorite
ultimate
shit.
of something,
Or
like my favorite shit, the worst shit, the dumbest shit. I have an ever-growing list of the maximum of everything. But the thing that I like to do sometimes is someone who's usually drunk will say, "What's your star sign?" And I'll just pick one, like Gemini, and they'll give me an essay on why traits that I have are very much Gemini traits. And it just hammers home the bullshit that is astrology. And I know nobody cares as much about astrology as I care about hating astrology.
Yeah.
And no one who listens to this who likes astrology is going to give a shit at all. But I think your hobby is stupid and you're dumb. Anyway,
that's pretty much it. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, people have, I
wish I had purpose.
It's vague enough that it can apply to literally anyone in any situation.
You seem like a person who likes TV. Woo!
Imagine that landing on the one person who actually doesn't even own a TV and like does not watch TV at all. It's like, well, this is completely wrong. This astrology stuff is bullshit.
In the seance, and the wizard starts sweating. It's just like, I thought you would like Bakugan.
Good This one's from Buddha Boy. Just want to say thank you for making these podcasts. They make my days better. Here's a picture of my pets and me. These very cute cats. Thank you. He's also wearing a sweatshirt that says clickbait, but like it's like the university style fonts, you know? So like you normally would say Harvard or like Yale, but it says clickbait. Yeah. It's actually kind of a cool sweatshirt. I like that. Thank you. This one's from Darwin. Hello, my schloods. Thank you for giving me your opinion on the movie. It means a lot. I don't know which movie we gave our
I don't remember that
on,
at all.
but,
we're very consistent.
I know. I've been listening to the pod for a year now, and it's helped me out in certain situations. Also, Patrick, sorry for calling you Charlton. On one of the episodes, you said it was fine.
Is this that guy?
No, it's not.
You called me Charlton. That was the same guy, though. Unless three people have now called me Charlton.
There's multiple people. On one of the episodes, you said it was fine to call you that or anything if any of your other preferred names, just as long as it wasn't Pat. So apologize. Low key, it made my hand start shaking when you got mad. But oh well,
Jesus
tough shit.
Christ.
Talk to Yammin, so that was cool. My question is, do you guys have any more input on the new Hellboy movie? Have a decent day. Looks promising. Will probably be bad.
The new trailer where it goes like dun 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 da da. That was cool. I like that. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So I
like the guy who turns into a leopard man.
There's a leopard man in the
You
new
didn't see
trailer. I haven't seen the new trailer yet. No. I'll have to go watch it now. I love a good leopard.
I don't.
Man.
For some reason, it bothers me that they're in London.
They are
not in New York.
Oh really? That feels like it changes the whole character of the movie pretty drastically. Like that's a good like spin-off or sequel idea, but I feel like for like a new Hellboy movie that's starting from scratch, you want that New York setting, but whatever.
David Harbour, you sent me a screenshot of
the Fantastic Four casting
with David Harbour as the Thing, and I don't dislike that.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you send it? Oh, and Michael Fassbender's Doctor Doom, John Krasinski. As long as John Krasinski can convincingly portray someone who does not give a single shit about his entire family or wife, that is pretty much the only requirement for playing Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Sue Storm needs to be empathetic and kind, and Sue Storm, and David Harbour needs to be the Thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I don't know who that is, but he definitely looks like the Human Torch.
Yeah, the Human Torch guy looks familiar, but I don't quite remember.
He looks like Charlie Hunnam and that other guy who's in Triple Frontier, who all are clones of each other. It's just like the same 6 actors are the same person.
I didn't realize how, when I saw the poster for Triple Frontier, like Ben Affleck, Pedro Pascal, and Oscar Isaac all look like evolutions of one another. No, they look like they're like Pokemon that could evolve into one another if they wanted to. Just like,
I don't know about that.
Whatever.
You're a racist.
I am.
Isn't it weird that Ben Affleck is just sort of doing anything now?
Yeah, I mean, once you're divorced, you're really freed up to do a lot of other stuff.
He's so sad all the time.
He really is, because he's sad because his marriage fell apart and he hates being Batman, and people are mean to him because the movies are not good.
Nobody wants to talk about his gangster movie from the 50s. People just want to talk about Batman.
Exactly. Like,
do you think there'll be a Triple Frontier cinematic universe?
I don't even know. What is that gangster movie he did called? Like, Into the Night? Live by Night. Yeah, nobody
fucking saw that movie.
Yeah. Which is sad, because like there was that interview that he got really mad at when
he was very
it was upset. For the press tour of Live by Night, and no one was like taking him seriously, and they were just asking him about Batman.
I just made this movie as a passion project of mine, and everybody just asked questions about Batman. It's like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen when you became one of the most popular superheroes to ever exist? Fucking idiot. Nobody wants to hear about this gangster movie.
This is like very mediocre gangster movie.
I tell you what people want to see in 2018. Tommy guns. You remember that, gang?
All right. Next one, Sydney. Hey, Greaseballs. Recently saw my favorite band again after them skipping Dallas for 3 years, and even met them after the concert a few days ago, and I'm still starstruck. Have you guys ever met any celebrities or artists, and what was y'all's experience with them? I think
You
I
met
remember
Jon Snow.
I did. I think I remember Patrick meeting an actor in a real old podcast when he was in New York, but I want to hear Alex and Yammin stories. Well. Also, it was
Yammin,
my
who
grandpa's
have you met?
birthday recently, and we got tuxedos for the dog. So here is a pic of Garo.
Guillermo del Toro.
That's cute. Yeah, I did meet Jon Snow when I was abroad in London last semester. I went to go see his play True West, and I just waited for him backstage. Well, mostly my girlfriend wanted to meet him. Yeah, like there's that backstage exit that you can like wait at and see the actors come out and stuff. And he came out and greeted fans and stuff. And he was actually, I always feel bad about like bothering famous people and stuff because I'm sure they get it a lot and just kind of want to go on with their lives. But Kalina was like pretty firm on like getting an autograph, so I was like, sure, whatever. But he was actually so nice. He was like incredibly gracious and awesome. And I was just like, hey man, great show, like big fan of your work and stuff. Can't wait for, the final season of Game of Thrones and stuff. And he seemed like very genuine, like, oh wow, like thank you so much. I'm so glad you liked it. Yada yada. I'm sure you'll enjoy
You're the
like
only one that's
the
ever
next
said
season.
that to me.
I know. Yeah, I feel it was literally like it felt like I was the first person in his life that gave him a
He always
compliment.
says the Game of Thrones is the worst show ever, but thank you. This has reaffirmed my interest in playing the character.
Yeah, so that was my big celebrity meeting story. He was awesome. Big makes me like him even more now. But you met Finn Jones is what this story that this
Dapped
person
up
is
Finn
referring
Jones
to.
at a coffee shop in Brooklyn, and he looked like he wanted to die.
Yeah, little did he know his show was about to get canceled.
He looked very sleepy, is what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, understandable.
Which
I'm
makes
sure.
sense because he was at a coffee shop.
Yeah, I'm sure he's working hard. It's what he's there for. He needs caffeine. Thank you, Sydney. Goodbye.
Also wearing pajamas.
I mean, when you're Finn Jones, you can just wear pajamas.
Because that character literally wore pajamas for the first third of that fucking show. It sucked so much.
He needs to be flexible to do kung fu.
They hated
honestly.
him so much as Iron Fist, they gave it to somebody else. Not even like somebody else is in someone else is playing Iron Fist, Danny Rand. They gave it to an entirely different character. That is how much he sucked.
Yeah. Next one. This one's from Omar. Hey, dudes. Long-time listener. First-time caller. Got 2 questions for you. First, what are your favorite soups? Mine is chicken and dumpling. Second, what are your plans for the podcast? With Alex and Yammin working and Patrick doing whatever he does, should we prepare ourselves for the day our favorite assholes leave the airwaves for good?
Let's ask Yammin how invested he is in this podcast. Oh, wait.
My favorite soup is wonton soup. You can get it at any Chinese restaurant. It's delicious.
I like chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodle soup. I was super hungover yesterday, and I was just dying for any form of sustenance, and I made myself a can of chicken noodle soup, like classic, like Campbell's, whatever.
Fucking slaps.
I hadn't had that in like a decade probably, and it was incredible. It brought me back to
There's
life.
so much sodium in those. It's
I know. Yeah, it's fantastic. As far
Plans
as
for the podcast, though,
keep doing it if it's fun. That's it.
pretty much.
Yep.
Hasn't gotten boring yet. There have been a couple stretches where it's just like, this feels like a chore, but then we'll have like one really good one where we'll all laugh a bunch, and it was like, hey, renewed energy. I enjoy
Exactly. So yeah. Also, like sometimes if like life is just very difficult at that moment,
We'll take a break.
for like just for everyone, like either with class or jobs or other things we have going on in our lives that can kind of drag down on the podcast, unfortunately.
I definitely
But-
see Yammin as the guy who's definitely going to be like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
But it's weird because like it's hard to get Yammin into it at the beginning, but then whenever he's here, like he has a great time, and he's always the one to be like, "That was a great one. That was a great
He
one."
does say that usually.
Yeah.
If he likes it, he'll like when we hit stop, he'll be like, "That was a really good one." That was
Yeah,
good."
and I was like, "Cool. I'm like glad you liked it."
Giving you an inside thing behind the scenes of this stupid fucking thing that we do.
Exactly.
that no one watches or enjoys.
Thank you for your email, Omar. This next one is from. I didn't like filter any of these, but I'm like filtering them on the fly, and thankfully these are all short. You guys have been doing a great job.
You guys
keeping
can
these
listen!
short. Thank you. Hey dudes, my name is Brienne. Been listening to you for a long time. Wanted to get some advice on single player / open world games. I hardly ever play video games, and when I do, it's only Okami on the Xbox One. That game has been re-released on like 30 different things, including like your TI-84 calculators, so I'm not surprised. I was wondering if you guys had any suggestions on what to play since I'm going on a long spring break. Also, joining the bandwagon and sending pics. Here's my fat old cat Zeus. Oh my god, he's wearing a cone. He looks like fucking... he looks like a fucking maniac.
Have you ever seen the picture of the cat wearing the wizard hat, and it's got a wand, and it goes, skedaddle, skadoodle, your dick is now a noodle. And then there's another one where it goes like, whoosh, you have small Peter.
Why is stupid shit so funny?
It's so fucking funny, I love it.
Skedaddle,
skadoodle, your dick is now a noodle. You should play Assassin's Creed Origins in Force Unleashed, and that's it.
Oh, Force Unleashed. That's a good pick. I played that game on the Wii.
That's one of those games that you don't think about for 3 years, and then suddenly you remember it exists.
Don't play Force Unleashed 2, because that game was not as good.
Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah, if you have a PS4, play that. If you don't, play Crackdown 3. I'm sure that's fun. That's probably not that. People say. Play Anthem. I'm sure that's a great time. And if you really like Anthem, go play Fallout 76. Cause like
play both of the what's it called? Division 2.
2. Yeah. In all seriousness, do play every single BioShock game ever made. They're all fantastic.
There is a trailer for Division 2 where Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3. Not Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach.
Yep.
Halo Wars as well.
Just get the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, it's coming out to PC if you have a PC.
Yeah, so set you right.
Hey, there's a trailer for Division 2 where it's the president giving his final address, and there's like all the chaos going on in Washington, D.C., and the Division agents are shooting things and stuff, and it's all going awry. And the president goes like, Division agents, you are our last line of hope. It's like... What? He sounds so depressed about it. It's like, these are the people who are defending us, who are doing like fake military speak in these trailers.
Like the president's about to end it all.
Guardian, you are our last hope.
Guardian. I could laugh forever about people in the Destiny subreddit talking to themselves like Guardians. Next one's from Mia. So in episode 83, y'all are talking about hills, and it reminded me of the time I was 3, and on my birthday, which was in February, so it's pretty fucking cold. And it was the first birthday my dad missed, and it was like 8 a.m., and I lived near King's Dominion, and there was this huge-ass hill. And my 3-year-old self put on a coat and gloves and graves my baby stroller. I don't know. I guess they grabbed the baby stroller. If you've ever been to King's Dominion around, it's very woodsy, and where we lived, we were very close to it, and everyone knew each other. I walked halfway up this huge-ass hill next to a lake, and my mother actually thought I died because my baby stroller was on the side of the road. And yeah, this guy brought me to our friend's house, and the cops picked me up there and brought me home. You're probably annoyed with my email, but I wanted to share it with you because why not? I thought this was going to be a lot more dangerous, and like you were going to roll off a hill and like fly into like the path of a roller coaster or something like that. So,
that's like fucking Pet Cemetery. It's like fucking Pet Cemetery when the cat comes back and then the kid and everybody's happy and playing with the thing, and then the cat runs away or the dog runs away, I can't remember, and then a fucking giant truck hits the little girl, and then the dad's sad, so he goes to the Pet Cemetery and buries his little girl, and then she comes back. I've seen trailers for the new one.
Yeah, I saw it last night. Or saw the trailer for it, I mean.
Oh, I thought
it's not out movie. Yet. I saw Us last night, though. It was good.
Did you actually enjoy it?
It was really good, yeah. Very good follow-up to Get Out. I think the ending will be a little controversial.
Was it scary?
It was scarier. It's not like super scary though. It's scarier than Get Out, but it's not like too bad. I don't think.
I just remember in the trailer there's the scene where the little boy is in the closet with his counterpart, and then the little boy takes off the mask and he's got this deformed face, and it was just like, whoa.
I didn't see that trailer, so when I saw it in the actual movie, I was like, "Oh shit, that makes sense." Though.
Yikes!
It's cool. The world building of that movie was really interesting, and I'd like to learn more about it. But I feel like it's one of those things. If you look too closely, it kind of like falls apart, and like there's like lots of questions. You know?
Totally. Yeah, that's why I probably wouldn't care.
Yeah, but otherwise, great movie. Highly recommend it. Next one. This one is from Rob. This is a quick note about eugenics. I don't know how we spawned this discussion.
Okay, this better be like Patrick doesn't actually believe in eugenics or something.
Yeah, it's not. It's fine. Everyone means good genes. The issue arises on how you define good. It's not a topic people like to discuss because it's uncomfortable, but as genetic screening of the embryos and risk analysis based upon parent genealogy and DNA sequencing becomes a real-ass issue, we as a society are going to have to make some rules about personal choices and what the moral obligations of a doctor or potential parent is to their theoretical child. I think the instant dismissal of discussion of eugenics is dumb and it needs to be better understood in society at large. A brief moral quandary for you. Love the podcast. Hope you have a marvelous day. All the best. This reminds me actually of Mass Effect 2 in Miranda. I think her name's Miranda. The British lady companion. A big plot point of her like character quest or whatever is how her
lab.
Yeah, her dad made her in a lab, and she was like frustrated with him for making her like so perfect and all this stuff like that.
Do you know how I know that?
Because you watched the playthrough on YouTube?
No, I was like 13 and I went to this website where I like read porn a lot, and there was this one.
No,
I'm not kidding.
No.
I learned about Mass Effect 2 because I read about Miranda and all those people.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. I remember I was just like I was being I was like I was doing stuff, and then I was reading. I was like, oh, what's going on here?
You've become so interested in the lore that it distracts you.
Literally, yeah, that was fun.
I'm not editing any of this, so
yeah,
don't say anything you don't want to. No, I'm just saying like be careful not to say. You should edit out that part where you talked about us. No, I'm gonna leave that part. I didn't spoil anything.
How dare you not spoil things?
Why
don't you like edit out the part where I talked about this, but not the part where you say you're gonna edit this out? It's just like
that would happen to me.
We should not edit that out. That would be great if we left that in.
Did I tell you there's a recent job I applied to that I have an interview for next week that's somewhat high profile?
Who?
A job I applied to is it
someone high profile is who?
It is someone high profile, as in like it is a sitting politician that is very noticeable, like very famous. I applied for a job with them.
Text me the name.
I'll text you.
Not right now.
It'll take me 3 seconds.
Watch me not know anything fucking about this person.
I bet you won't actually, but like you should. I feel like
trending on art/white people Twitter. Show me a coffee shop without Wi-Fi, and I'll show you. Oh,
yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
I don't know anything about that person, but I remember the name.
But like you know who they are, right?
I think so.
Because they are. I'll just send you the screenshot of the
this
Google
is more
thing.
shit that they can't see. Read the next email, you fucking idiot.
No, it's fine. Anyways, what I'm saying is I applied to a job, got an interview next week, but I'm surprised I got the interview, but also glad because I took Prude dudes off my resume because I was worried that
probably a good idea.
Years from now, some Fox News reporter like is trying to dig up dirt on my boss and sees that this dumbass intern had this dumbass podcast where he talked about beating off to Mass Effect characters or something stupid.
You win
like
some,
that.
You lose some.
Exactly. So I was like, I'm going to cover my ass here and not mention this at all. This one's from Charlotte. Hey guys, I have a question that constantly burns in my mind. What do you think a British accent sounds like in a different language? For example, what would a British person sound like speaking Spanish? Also, I love the podcast. Y'all are funny. And pardon my absolute dumbassery. Have a nice day.
Well, I think you're assuming that they're going to have a British accent when they speak Spanish. But when you take courses to learn a different language, one of the main points that they make is teaching you to have a good accent when you're speaking Spanish or any other language. Like when you say Espanol. No, Espanol. Even still, not good. Espanol.
That was a very good salient point, actually. That's better than I think anything I was going to say. So I'll leave it at that.
Just a British person who's like, hello, I speak Espanol.
I could see that. I could see that being a thing.
I have a monocle.
Let's see. This one's from Nina. Hey dudes, me again. I finished listening to episode 83 of the pod. Patrick mentioned how he likes movie commentaries, and boy, do I know the perfect YouTube channel.
Oh, I know. I read this. I don't like
Channel's
the
name.
she mentions, though.
Oh, you didn't like him?
Nope.
The channel is pretty much it. She says their stuff is really good. You have to buy their full commentaries?
Yeah.
But on their YouTube channel, they have shorter videos where they talk over movies and occasionally freestyle. My favorite is their Harry Potter series.
I think the people who watch those are less interested in the jokes that the people are making. And you know how people watch CinemaSins, but mostly just to see a movie without having to pay for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
I see that. Okay. On another note, I know you guys mentioned you like comics, and I was wondering if you knew about Webtoon. It's a digital comics app where creators are able to post original content, and it's really good. Really feel like I should get paid by Webtoon because I talk about it so much, but I just really enjoy it. If you guys are interested in superhero/fighting genres, Unordinary, The God of High School, and Hardcore Leveling Warrior are really good. I usually just stick to cheesy romance stuff. Some of my picks are I Love You, Siren's Lament, Age Matters, and Days of Hannah. All of the comics that I previously mentioned are still being updated, but there are others that are already finished, which you can read all the way through if you want. My pick for those are Orange Marmalade, which is kind of like about racism, but with vampires, and Winter Moon, which is a bit of a twist to the Frankenstein story. Okay, that's all. Sorry for doing nothing but recommend other stuff. Love the podcast. Bye. That's actually a very cool idea. It's like YouTube, but for comics and like independent, creators and stuff. I like that a lot. I hadn't thought about that.
Did you see that one of the names she dropped was Age Matters?
Yes.
It was a little... What?
Age matters.
Yes, it does. But
it does
what
matter.
What is this about?
Well, I think if it's taking the stance that I think it's taking, I think I agree with it. So,
Yeah, it's just like...
There you go.
It was really weird because the other one she mentioned was like Twilight Moon and Age Matters.
It was about beating up pedophiles. It's good in my book.
Like that in Deadpool 2 when Cable was looking at the pastor from the orphanage run away.
Yeah.
And he's like, he even runs like a fucking pervert.
All right, this is the last one we're gonna do. This one's from Vanessa. Okay, last night went a little bit overboard with the bean juice. So I just want to say off the bat that I hate with a passion group interviews. That's what happened today during my Apple interview, and yeah, I don't do well in group interviews because everyone decides to talk so arrogantly about themselves, and I don't do that. I got the email from them saying, thank you for applying, but we are moving on with other candidates. So last night my friend was streaming Apex Legends, and we made a deal that for every win he got, I would take a shot of bean juice. My limit is usually 4 shots, but this fucker had to win his matches, and I basically took 8 shots. So much regret in the morning, but you guys helped keep calm during my hangover. Insert noise that Patrick makes when the podcast ends, and they included a picture of a tiny baby chick that is very cute. I like that a lot. Where do you live that you can just have a tiny chick as a pet?
Oof. Like the group interview thing she talked about. I once it was like a few months ago. I interviewed for a job at like a chiropractic practice. And
you were gonna massage people?
No, it wasn't massaging. It was like I would be like helping the doctor with like injections and like throwing stuff away and like giving people forms and stuff. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know, maybe I would be a front desk attendant. I don't really remember. But I did a group interview for that, and it was me and 3 other people who were all like 40. Yeah, and they. I looked like such like a teenager because I have such a young face and I shaved. Yeah. And there was this woman, like they went around the room and they were like, so, we just want to know, what makes you think you're qualified for the job, which is inherently aggressive. But they asked that, and I went first, and I thought I did pretty well. Yeah. And then it went to the other guy across the room, and he was just like, I don't want to just repeat everything he said, so I'm just going to say what he said. And that was the weakest shit I've ever heard. And then the next guy went, and he talked about how he has experience in a similar field, lifeguarding, and I thought that was hilarious.
And, everyone's a fucking lifeguard.
And then the woman had her turn, and she was just like, I know the first gentleman mentioned how he was just interested in this job because it seems like it would be challenging work and he thinks it would be fulfilling. I, however, think that you need experience in this field to get the job done. And I was just like, fucking god damn. Dunking on me? It's not a fight. It's like, we're not debating. It's like, Jesus.
Next round, the proctor's just like, thank you all for giving us those rousing speeches. We're now all going to lock you in a room, and whoever comes out alive will get the job. So,
Heath Ledger's Joker will come in and break a pool cue in half and then say, make it fast. My favorite part, though, was when after she got done talking, the guy giving the interview was like given a clipboard to like move on to the next thing, but he was like, yeah, I just want to real quick, if you want to mention anything in your defense, because I know that she sort of it seemed a little bit aggressive, and he seemed so completely like uncomfortable, and she was just like, you ever see someone raise their eyebrows so much that they might like fly off? That was like her face, and I was just like, no, I completely agree. I think you should need experience in this field. I dunked on myself because I just, being honest, I was just like, yeah, I mean, if someone has job experience, I would hire them instead of me.
Yeah, I do fucking suck, in fact.
I fucking lay on my own
Hire
sword.
the other guy. That's hilarious. That's good, though. That, like, proves you have character or whatever, so maybe, I don't know.
And then I dove over the table and grabbed her.
All right, anything else you want to bring up before I start shutting it down?
If you ever find ramen in your house, get a big bowl and then put all the ramen into it and then squish it down and then put the hot water in it, and so you'll have a big bowl of ramen.
I think that's good rules to live by. Thank you to our Patreon patrons. If you want to donate to our ramen fund, you can go to patreon.com/PrudeDudes. We appreciate it. It keeps us fed. Thank you so much, Brianna, Cassidy, Chelsea, Aaron, Everso Joe, Jesse, Kane, Maldo, Marianne, Monty, Rebecca, Tara, Vanessa, and Jessica. You're all incredible. I would give you a firm handshake in person if I could. Otherwise, just giving you love from here. If you want to send us an email, you can send it to prudedudes@gmail.com. If you want to find us on social media, that's at prudedudes on Instagram and Twitter. If you want to follow us on our personal accounts, I'm at AlexPena97, Patrick's at PatrickCharlton5, and Yammin is at Papa Yams. 2 M's, or is it 2 S's? Hang on. It's 2 S's, my bad. Papa Yams, 2 S's. Go bother him. Give him some shit. Sure, it'll scare him straight. Other than that, thank you again for listening, guys. We'll see you again next week.